Hi everyone, I am Altesh. Today I am going to discuss about the 10th standard or SSLC NCERT Maths syllabus, real numbers, unit 8. So this is the very simple and easy chapter in your NCERT textbook. So you have already learnt about the definition for real numbers in the previous classes. In 8th standard, you have discussed about the number system. In number system, there are so many different classification in number system. So one is natural numbers and whole numbers, integers, real numbers, and rational numbers and irrational numbers, all those things. Here in specific, the real numbers chapter is prescribed in your 10th standard. So now we are going to discuss about some brief information about the real numbers. First we should know what are the real numbers. Real numbers are include all rational numbers and irrational numbers. Together we called it as a real number. So real numbers include all rational numbers means what are the rational numbers? We know about the rational numbers, the set of numbers which are of the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0 is the condition. All types of almost all fractions are rational numbers. And what are the irrational numbers? You already know the definition for irrational numbers, very simple. So irrational numbers are not of the form P by Q. Not of the form P by Q means which are of the form root forms, that is root 2, root 3, root 5, etc. They are also called as surds. The rational numbers and irrational numbers together we called as real numbers. So now next we go to divisibility of the real numbers. So divisibility rule that when dividend is divided by a divisor, we get the corresponding quotient and remainder. So in divisibility we divide dividend by using divisor. So automatically we get the corresponding quotient Q and remainder R. So when dividend is represented by the alpha, that is A is the dividend and B is the divisor. So B is the divisor, and we get, when we divide dividend by divisor, we get quotient and remainder. Quotient is represented by Q and remainder is represented by R. So by using all these four values, it is represented as dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So this can be written as A is equal to BQ plus R, where R is greater than or 0, greater than or equal to 0 and less than B. The remainder should be less than B. Less than B means less than divisor and greater than or equal to 0. Here A is equal to BQ plus R. A is the dividend, B is the divisor, Q is the quotient and R is the remainder. So here the very key condition is the remainder should be less than B, less than divisor and greater than or equal to 0. So this expression is called as Euclid's division lemma or Euclid's division algorithm. So this expression or this representation is called as Euclid's division lemma or Euclid's division algorithm. That is A is equal to BQ plus R, means dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Now we go for next topic, that is HCF. HCF is most familiar in previous classes. So abbreviation is highest common factor. Highest common factor or HCF. The HCF of two or more numbers is the greatest among common factor. Suppose you given two or more numbers, to find HCF of those three or two numbers. What to do? What you to do is to first you have to find the factors of those three or two given numbers, and you should noted the common factors for all three, and you should identify which one is greater. That is nothing but it is the HCF of the given two or three or more numbers. So here in the previous classes you should know the methods to find the HCF of two or more numbers. Here in this chapter, steps to find the HCF by using Euclid's division lemma. Here the method is mentioned here. The HCF is find by using Euclid's division lemma. You should know the Euclid's division lemma, that is A is equal to BQ plus R. So by using that Euclid division lemma, you have to find the HCF of two or more numbers. We should follow the following steps to find the HCF of given two or more numbers. So first step, identify the greater number of the two. For example, two numbers are given to find the HCF of those two numbers. What you to do is, the first step is you should identify the greater number. So in the given numbers, one is small and another one is larger or greater. First you should identify which one is greater or larger. That is the first step. Consider the greater number as dividend and the smaller number as the divisor. The greater number should be considered as dividend and the smaller number as the divisor. That means A is dividend and B is the divisor in the Euclid division lemma. Next, the third step says start the division process. You should know the how the division start and how you should divide the numbers. Start the division process. Next, find the quotient and the remainder. Automatically, when you start the division process by dividing the dividend by divisor, automatically you get the quotient and the remainder. So in this stage, at the first step of division process, if you get 0 is the remainder. During the division process, at the very first step, if you get the remainder 0, then you should consider the first divisor is the required HCF. The divisor itself is a HCF when you should divide dividend by divisor when you get the remainder is 0. At this step, division ends. You should stop the division process because you are already got the HCF, that is the divisor. Divisor itself is a HCF. Suppose the remainder not come as a 0, you should continue the division process. Otherwise, go to the next step. Again, go to the next step. What to do in the next step? Take the remainder as the new divisor. Remainder is taken as a new divisor and the divisor as the new dividend. Divisor as the new dividend. Repeat steps till the remainder 0 obtained. This process repeats. You should repeat the steps till you get the 0 as a remainder. So next step, The last non-zero remainder is the required HCF of the given two numbers. Finally, when you get the remainder 0 in the division process, you should identify which one is the last non-zero remainder. That itself is the HCF of the given two numbers. Next, we shall go to the LCM. LCM means lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple is the LCM of two or more number is the smallest number which is a multiple of each of the numbers. LCM means lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple of two or more number is the, first you should write the common multiple of the given two or more numbers. So multiple means just you multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that with the given numbers. And then you should identify the common multiples and you should write and make as a set, and you should identify the lowest. Lowest means small number, small multiple, that is the LCM of the given two or more numbers. So here the condition is the LCM of given numbers is not less than any of the given numbers. The LCM should be the LCM of given numbers is not less than any of the given numbers. The LCM is greater than that of given numbers. Means not less than any of the given numbers means the LCM is bigger one of the two numbers, two or more numbers. And the next point is the LCM of two or more co-prime numbers is equal to their product. Suppose the co-primes are given to find the LCM, so you should just multiply the co-primes to get the LCM. Their product itself is a LCM. So in this chapter we have to find the LCM of any two numbers by prime factorization method. So here in this chapter you should find the LCM of any two numbers by the method that is prime factorization method. So prime numbers, what are the prime numbers? Here the definition is like this: a number is called a prime number if it has exactly two factors, namely 1 and itself. A prime number is called as prime number is, it has two factors, 1 and itself, no other factors except 1 and itself. So those numbers are called prime numbers. For example, 5, 7 and 11, 13 and 17, 19, etc. Those are called as prime numbers. So those prime numbers have the factors except 1 and itself. Next, what are composite numbers? Composite numbers, a number is called a composite number if it has at least one factor other than 1 and the number itself. So exactly the composite numbers are not prime numbers. They are the other numbers other number excepts the prime numbers. Means at least those numbers have at least one factor other than 1 and itself. For example, 9. 9 means that is not a prime number, it is a composite number because 3 3s are 9. For example, 7. You take for example 7, it is a prime number, exactly it is a prime number. So its factors 1 and itself. It has more than two factors. Suppose the composite numbers have more than two factors. So next topic, relation between two numbers and their HCF and LCM. So there is a relation between the two numbers and their highest common factor and lowest common multiple. Suppose if A and B are any two numbers and their HCF and LCM are H and L, then what is the relation between two numbers and their HCF and LCM? Means product of HCF and LCM is equal to product of numbers. That is A into B is equal to H into L. Means product of the two numbers A and B is equal to product of their HCF and LCM. So this is very important formula to solve some of the problems in your chapters. Now we shall go to the next topic, rational numbers and their decimal expansions. And the decimal expansions, let P be a prime number. If P divides A square, then P divides A, where A is a positive integer. Suppose A is a positive integer and P be a prime number. If P divides A square, P divides A square simultaneously, P divides A, means its square root also divides by P. And the sum of difference of a rational and irrational number is irrational. For example, 2 plus root 3. 2 is a rational number, root 3 is a irrational number. Totally their sum or their difference become a irrational number. That is 2 plus root 3. 2 plus root 3, even 2 is a rational number and root 3 is a irrational number. Together we call it as a irrational number. Next topic, next point, every rational number can be expressed as a decimal. So it is very easy to express as a decimal form. For example, rational number 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5. So 0.5 is the decimal form and 1 by 2 is the rational form, rational number. Next point, the decimal representation of a rational number is either terminating or non-terminating, repeated or recurring. The decimal representation of a rational number is either terminating. Terminating decimal means the decimal ends at particular number. Non-terminating means it is continuous and repeated means recurring. The same quotients are repeating at the decimals. So next, if the real number is a rational number, if the real number is a rational number of the form P by Q, where the prime factorization of Q is of the form 2 to the power of n into 5 to the power of m, and n, m are some non-negative integers. Suppose the given real number is a rational number. How you can identify the real number is suppose it is of the form P by Q, how you identify it is a real number? So where the prime factorization of Q is of the form 2 to the power of n into 5 to the power of m. So Q, this is P by Q. In P by Q form, Q is of the form 2 to the power of n and 5 to the power of m. Then you should say it is the rational number, even though it is a real number. If the real number is a rational number is of the form P by Q, where the prime factorization of Q is of the form 2 to the power of n into 5 to the power of m, where n and m are the non-negative integers. So it is exactly, definitely it is a real number with in the form of rational number. So okay, thank you for watching. This is N. Maltesh, Karnataka Public School, Shrirampur, Vasturga Taluk, Chitradurga District. Okay. Okay, thank you students. This is about brief introduction about the real numbers, Unit 8 in NCERT 10th standard, SSLC Karnataka. Thank you friends. If you like the video, like, please share the video and subscribe the channel. Okay, thank you friends.